Good morning, guys. Thanks for listening to Coffee with Christ. It's Wednesday. If you haven't subscribed, hit the button below. Share these with your friends. So I'm going to jump right in. We've been talking this week about, we've looked at Solomon and we've looked at King David. And so we've been talking about worshiping idols, not pleasing the Lord by what we have done or by what we haven't done. And those are heavy topics. And I told you that a lot of times, I spend countless amount of hours just meditating on this stuff throughout my day. And I got a picture, of broken people, like a bunch of puzzle pieces. And so I was asking, the Lord, why did he give me this picture? Because I knew that it wasn't just the lost, people who didn't know Christ. This was not a picture of that. So if you're in the church, if you've walked with Jesus and you're listening to this any amount of time, we get this picture. We realize that apart from Christ, we're broken. And we need him because he helps us. So we've got that down, right? But I think in our mind, does anybody else, am I the only one? We think that once we come to Christ and we allow him to do this great work in us, that he puts us together and that's it. It's good. And so when I realized that the picture was not just a broken, lost people, then my judgment started to creep in. I'm thinking, God's given me this picture, and the church, they haven't grown up, they haven't surrendered. They have been sitting in church and not been putting into action things and all this stuff. But that didn't really feel right. That judgment, that place, it just didn't feel like a godly characteristic. It didn't feel like it was coming from the heart of a loving Father. So I just hung on and kept thinking, kept meditating, kept asking, talking to the Holy Spirit about it. And what I realized of this picture, I want to read to you before I tell you what I realized. Colossians 2:18 and 19. I want to read it out of the Message translation. It's really good. I'm going to skip halfway through it. It says, they're completely out of touch with the source of life, Christ, who puts us together in one piece, whose very breath and blood flow through us. He is the head and we are the body. We can grow up healthy in God only as he nourishes us. I love this, that the source of life is Christ. The source of life in us is Jesus, and he puts us together in one piece. I think the delusion that we get, or I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who's got that. But when I hung on, I kept thinking about it. So I was thinking about my life. And what I realized is this putting together in one piece really isn't a one-time occurrence. It isn't a one and done. Yes, these broken pieces of the picture that I got that were broken pieces, it was the church, but it wasn't because the entire church has been, lax or babies. Some of us are. But it was more of anybody else out there, the closer we get to Jesus, do we kind of feel a little bit, not broken, it's different, but see, we realize how much fault that we still have. Because if we don't keep walking with Jesus, we can have this one-time experience and he puts us back together, and then we go around and where I've been and where a lot of people are, we get this self-righteousness. We're good. We're good. We had this experience 20 years ago. We're good. We know it. We know the scriptures. We know this because we're operating in it a little bit. But see, this is a lifelong journey. And so the closer we get with Jesus, the closer I get with Jesus, I realize, wow, I'm falling short. I'm broken still. I'm broken. Jesus put me back together. What is the difference in the thought process? See, Jesus doesn't like self-righteousness. Go look at what he said to the Pharisees. He doesn't like that. It's not pleasing to him at all. And so, what's the good in thinking about this? Why did he give me this picture? What am I thinking about this? Because when we can properly think about this, what this does in us, it produces in us a proper way to love people, to have compassion for people, humility. These are the things that a follower of Christ needs to be. This is where we need to be. This is the place where we need to be, full of humility and compassion for the church, for the lost, for our leaders, for our neighbor. And until we can rightly come with Jesus and look at ourselves and realize that he's still putting us together. Because the closer we get to a holy God, we realize we got some more to go. So I'm bringing that to you today for whatever it is. I'm praying for you. Love you. And I will talk to you tomorrow.